Hi, I'm Steven. That's John. We're from Just Got Played, and we are counting down MrX's top 25 games of all time. So this is the 2022 edition, the 7th annual version of this list. And essentially what I did is I collected the top 50 games of all time list from a bunch of different people, and I aggregated them into this one top 25 list. You can go watch our first video on December 1st, the number 25 video, if you want to hear more about that. But today we are talking about number 14 on the list for December 12th. And I will throw it over to John to talk about a game that he really likes, which is Colt Express.
Yeah, Colt Express is one of my favorite, what I consider a party game. It's probably a little too complex to be considered a party game, but that's really how you should treat it, in my opinion. Essentially, you're all different robbers that are on this 3D train. It has a full 3D train with a roof on it, with an interior, and you place your bandits inside, and they're running around trying to get as much loot as they can while brawling with each other and while trying to avoid the sheriff. So it's a simple game on its head, and what happens is everybody has action cards, and you play them to a deck. And once everybody's played all the cards for that round, you flip the deck over and you resolve those actions in the order they were placed in the deck. However, there's also train cards, and it'll say, hey, for this round, the second and fourth card you play are hidden, or the second card takes effect immediately instead of waiting for things to resolve. So it's kind of zany from turn to turn. You never know exactly how the round's going to play out until that card's revealed. And then it's really fun to program those actions. And as you flip the deck over, you're running around and, oh, I missed that, or someone punched me and knocked me away, and all my plans have gone awry. So it's not a game you can go in and try to play strategically. If you're trying to win this game, you're probably going to have a bad time. But if you treat it as more of a fun party game where you're just running around punching your friends and stealing loot from them, throwing them in jail, it's great. And it also has some of the best expansions to a game that I've ever played. The sheriff is controlled by AI, and it's really just a means to keep the bandits scared. But when you play as the sheriff, you're literally walking around trying to arrest those same bandits, and then they can try to break each other out of jail. You can add stagecoaches, horses. There's even a promo that Steven gave me that's the Back to the Future car that you can push in front of the train. So great game, very unique, very fun. Always a table stopper to break out. It looks great with that 3D train. I even got the promotional map for it. It's a player map that runs the entire length, and it looks like train tracks in the desert. It's just one of those games that I love. The base game, the expansions are all great, and it's just always a great time.
Yeah, I will echo that this is an excellent production, right? Just seeing it on the table is like, wow, that's cool. So they did a great job with that. And it's interesting that you say that you sort of put this in the party game category. I mean, I know the last time that we played this at the local game store, I'd played the game several times before, but some of the people at the table, 2 or 3 of them had never played the game before. And I had never played with the horses either. So that was interesting. So the game was a little bit different to me too. And so you were like, well, I'm just going to be the marshal. I don't care. I don't care if I win or I lose, because this is sort of a party game to you. And we had a blast. And of course, it's really hard to win as the marshal, I think. But
it is. Well, ever since I got the expansion with the marshal, I've played every game as the marshal, and I've never even come close to winning. But I still have a blast because I treat it, just like I said, as a party game. Your plans are going to go awry. Nothing's going to happen the way you expect it to. There's even a mechanic when you play as the marshal that the players are benefited from beating you up. So by the end of it, I'm laying on the ground a bloody mess. I haven't arrested anybody, but I just still had a blast. So if you treat it like that, I think it's one of the most fun party games that you can have. But just like Point Salad, if you try to play it as a serious game, it's probably not going to go over well, and you're not going to enjoy it.
Yeah. I would also like to mention there's a thing called Colt Super Express, which is just a deck of cards. In fact, I took the game, and I can't remember what size box it came in, but I put it in one of those photo boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how I keep it at my house. That is very simple, has a lot of the same mechanisms that you use in Colt Express. It distills down the experience to something that is shorter and lighter and smaller. So that might be worth checking out too, if you're interested. We played that for the first time at a convention this past summer, right?
It's interesting because not many people try to take a big board game and just distill it down, like you said, to the core opponents, to a smaller game. I can't even name another game off the top of my head that's tried that, but they absolutely nailed it in this implementation of it, because you take a game that's like an hour and a half with a lot of setup time and overhead, and you distill it down to a 10-15 minute game, and it still feels like you're playing Colt Express. So if you want a long game, party game, grab that, because you can go to a lot of players. If you want a short, quick game that you can play with 4 players and still have that same kind of fun, you can do that as well. So I have both of them in my collection, and I would put both of them in rotation on a game night.
Yep, I agree. I think Colt Express is the better game, but Colt Super Express is also worth having.
Yeah. So if you're worried about shelf space, get Colt Super Express, and it's still an enjoyable time.
Yeah, and if you don't like Colt Super Express, you won't like Colt Express either.
Yeah.
So maybe start there. I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, so that is Colt Express, number 14 in Mr. X's top 25 games of all time. All right, so as a reminder, this is a contest. We do a contest during the month of December for all of these top 25 games videos. All you have to do to enter the contest is leave a comment on the YouTube video. And in this video, why don't you comment? Tell us what you think of Colt Express or Colt Super Express. If you haven't played any of those, why don't you just comment and tell me what is your favorite Western themed game of all time? And if you don't have one, tell me your favorite Western themed movie of all time, but just leave a comment. That's how you enter. At the end of the month, I will draw a winner. Come back tomorrow, December 13th, where we're doing game number 13. 13, I get that right? I think so. All right. But until then, I'm Steven. That's John. We're from Just Got Played, and thanks for joining us.